I was happy to meet His Eminence Cardinal Sepe in Naples. It was the St. Egidio conference, which he hosted. And a few years ago, including His Holiness Pope Benedict XVI, addressed that gathering. And it was such warm, gracious hospitality on his part that I said, look, I'll try to reciprocate in New York. I will introduce him to my colleagues in the Appeal of Conscience Foundation. It's an interfaith foundation concerned with religious freedom and human rights. It's an interreligious, Catholic, Jewish, Orthodox, Protestant, the whole variety, Muslim. That will be a wonderful exchange in terms of interreligious cooperation and what we can do together facing the many challenges that the world has today, and how religion can respond to those challenges. Fortunately, we live at a time when increasingly religious communities can play a very significant role, both in terms of advancing peace or any other social problems that face humanity. So that's the interreligious part. Then I will be happy to host them here at Park East Synagogue, which is a historic landmark synagogue. We had the honor and privilege of hosting His Holiness Pope Benedict here 2 years ago. Also the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew. Here at Park East Synagogue, which I'm proud to be the senior rabbi, we have an open door policy. We welcome everyone, man, woman, different race. Well, that will be an encounter with some Jewish leaders, and I think it will be just a very warm welcome. This is not just a house of prayer. Prayer without action is meaningless. Prayer is supposed to be a preparation for action, whether it's social action or we're living in a world of interdependence. You know, it's remarkable. Somehow the nations get together when there is a crisis. Like, you know, Israel just had a crisis in the Carmel forest. Yeah. So Russia and Germany and you know Jordan and Turkey and Greece and everyone. Okay. Well, we need to make sure that this kind of solidarity that nations have should persist. I was in Rome, invited by both Pope Benedict and Chief Rabbi Schenier of Rome, who also, whenever he is in New York, occupies my pulpit. And in fact, in his speech at the Rome Synagogue, Pope Benedict recalled his visits to a synagogue in Cologne, synagogue, Park East Synagogue in New York, and then I met Pope Benedict in Jerusalem on May 11th. So I thought the meeting in Rome was another step in Catholic Jewish cooperation. There were always some people who are, you know, have reservations and are critical, but progress is not made that way, you know. In the United States, we do not have one chief rabbi. We have major congregations, and this happens to be one of the major Orthodox congregations. I just mentioned yesterday to Archbishop Dolan, who's a good friend, St. Patrick's was just named the Basilica. It will never happen to my synagogue because we don't have a pope. So his is a basilica, and this is a historic landmark. So that I think as religious leaders we face similar challenges, both in terms of family, disintegration of family, secularism, which, by the way, is not as prevalent in the United States as in Europe. You find that 85% of Americans are somehow affiliated with either a church, temple, mosque, synagogue, which is not the case in Europe. A whole question of poverty and peace and terrorism, and I don't have to give you all the list of problems. There were some very difficult times in history. There's no point in rehashing the past. We have to learn from the past, and you cannot change history, but you can improve upon history in terms of the future. And I think as far as the norm and the guidelines today in Catholic-Jewish relations, thank God, have changed since the guidelines of Vatican II and Nostra Aetate, which was reaffirmed by, started by John 23, reaffirmed by John Paul II of blessed memory, whom I knew well, and certainly by Benedict XVI. We operate now within that framework, and we have come a long way. We have still a long way to go, but these brotherly exchanges are all contributing to a greater mutual respect, mutual understanding, and greater cooperation. I think that Italy is very fortunate to have had some wonderful diplomats representing the country. Consul General Tallo, as his initiative, every year we have a commemoration remembering the Jews of Italy who were deported, and he invites some leading personalities to actually read the names. I've done it. He invites our children and children from Catholic schools to do the same. Usually it's a very cold, blistery time, but we're there. And also the former ambassador to the UN, who is now in Italy, in Washington, Terzi. Also, we appreciate very much the support of Italy for the peace and security of Israel in the United Nations, and I must say the Italian community, not only the Jewish community here, but the Italian community. We're very proud of the contribution that the Italian community has made to New York. We had Mayor LaGuardia, who I didn't know him, but he was one of the first ones to decry Nazi persecution at the height of the Nazi terror. Rudy Giuliani. Now we're going to have Governor Andy Cuomo. So his father, Mario Cuomo. Anyhow, the Italian community has made a great difference in terms of the vitality of life, cultural, and the Italian cuisine, of course. Everything is pasta. Pasta has become very, very popular. Pizza, pasta. Yeah.